Best of R / Tales from Retail episode 39. Hello all. A quick couple of stories from this weekend here. I work in a hardware store, and as such, I can be pretty airheaded there a lot. Kinda makes me think it's something in the air there. For some context, we sell buckets and lids for them for about $3 to $5 each, and they are placed in all sorts of awkward areas on the floor, with one such place being by the front door. Yesterday, one of the ladies I work with got a bit of a doozy question. A customer asked her if he filled the bucket with merchandise, if he would just pay one price for it all. Same Emma came back to her to check out. He had a flashlight that we offer return plans on, and when offered that, he just laughed in her face. I told her later that when he brings it back outside of our return policy, we should just laugh in his face. Like, WTF. Today, I had some dude come through my line for checkout. He not only took his sweet time getting ready to check out, and had some wrench holders that had no tag for me to ring up, he even had the audacity to tell me the price, possibly knowing full well I need a special code to type into the register for it to ring up. But when I scanned a 20% off coupon for him, which I can get in trouble for, off of one item only, he tried to tell me that 20% off of 161 and change is $20. I told him that wasn't the case, being patient as I can, and told him what happened. His original total was around 165. 20% took off the highest price item he had, $17 to $18 item. After that transaction was done and he left, my other coworker tells me she wouldn't have dealt with it. Just the idea that someone tried to tell me how to do my job just makes me angry. Like, dude, lesson learned here. Don't treat service workers of any kind like they are beneath you. They are human beings too, and they can treat you the way you treat them. Thank you. Next. I offered to push carts one time only at the grocery store I worked at in high school because the cart guy got hurt the day before, and the other ones just didn't bother to show up. It was about 10 degrees Fahrenheit outside, but I don't mind the cold. After 3 hours of doing my best to keep up with a large grocery store's carts all by myself, I arrive inside the right side cart corral and come face to face with a half Karen / half ogre beast, Cobb, with folded arms and a foot tapping like Thumpers from Bambi. Her equally obnoxious son was there looking frustrated as well. I was coming in for my break, and it went like this. Cobb, oh my god, I've been waiting here for 20 minutes for you to bring me a cart. Probably 3 minutes because I was bringing large amounts in rotation, but doing it quick. What the F is taking you so long, you useless idiot? Me, I said. Oh, well, I'm sorry. The cart pushers that are usually here all called out, so I offered to do it. I'm doing it by myself and I'm not used to it, and there's a lot of people. The carts are running out very quickly after I put some back. Cobb, ooh ugh. I didn't ask for you to talk back or for any of your excuses. My time is worth a lot more than yours. You make minimum wage, so stop wasting my time and go get me a cart. I saw 200 of them when I parked my car and started walking up here. At that moment, I messed up with my next statement, face with tears of joy. Me, well, mom, if you passed hundreds of carts outside, why didn't you grab one of those on your way in? Cobb, excuse me? Who are you to ask me that? Those carts are cold, and I was not going to touch one. Are you stupid? Me, I don't think I am. Although, I suppose I've been wrong before. Why didn't your son grab one? Cobb, my son is very sensitive to the cold. I wouldn't expect him to grab that cart and make his hands cold. At this, I raise my bare hands up to my forehead and start giggling about how she called her adult son sensitive. She exploded on me after that, grabbing my shirt. Cobb, you better go get me something to hold my groceries while I shop in this store. It damn well better be warm too. If not, I'll have you fired, you little s. She was wrong, by the way. After only a couple months there, I was already the top performing cashier, and rated highest on scanning speed and customer service simultaneously. Everyone loved me, so I was not getting fired over some grouchy, old bat. Me, being the quick thinker and troll that I am, immediately caught that she said something to hold her groceries with, but did not specify what. Me, okay, mom, I'm sorry for the inconvenience I've caused you. Let me go grab you something, so I can go on my break. because I can really use it right about now. Cobb, it's about F time. Hurry up, because I need to get going. I then proceeded to walk through the store with her, thinking because it was warmer than walking to the other side outside of the store. I grabbed a plastic bag and a green handheld shopping basket. The basket was cold, so I held it up to the heater for 30 seconds because she wanted it warm. I put the plastic bag in the basket and proceeded to walk back to where they were waiting in the other cart corral. Before she realized what I was doing, "Here you go, mom. This should hold your groceries no problem. They are very sturdy, just like you asked. I made sure to make it warm for you. Your sensitive son should be able to carry the bag, because it doesn't weigh very much." I set the basket and bag down on the floor and turned around to walk inside. I counted down in my head from 3, then she screamed some unintelligible sound. "Cobb, who the F do you think you are? This is unacceptable. Get me your manager." I was giggling inside and waving my finger like a music conductor while she was saying all these rants. Well, honestly, I think I'm the guy that just clicked out for his break and doesn't have time for any more fun with you right now. You're welcome to speak to my manager, but I'm not getting him because I'm off the clock. I'll be down in 30 minutes if you want to talk about. She looked like she was having a self-induced allergic reaction, couldn't breathe, and she was all red. I could hear her downstairs screaming at every person at the customer service desk that they needed to get me downstairs, so she F'd me up. She was not one to be talked to by worthless heads with useless jobs. She said if I didn't come down, she was going to start breaking things until I did. She was forced out of the store and banned for life. When I came down to find out if I was in trouble, I was already laughing because I didn't care at that point. They started laughing too and told me that was someone who's always been sort of a problem, but never enough of one to be removed and banned. Her threatening me with physical violence and threatening to destroy company property gave them reason to ban her. I was commended instead of reprimanded. I always loved working retail, no matter how much everyone else at that grocery store hated it. I let things bounce off me like nothing, and I have the kind of personality that will always have me be the favorite in any situation. Thank you. Next. Obligatory on mobile/new poster, please be kind. I manage a liquor store in Canada and today has been strange to say the least. I just had to share this WTF moment. Late this afternoon a woman walks in. Let's call her C for Candy. She looks sketchy, in her 40s with her hair and clothes a mess, watching for and avoiding employees etc. I'm sure you know the type. The first thing she does is as she walks in is yell at me to call a cab for Candy. She walks into the beer cooler, grabs a case of black ice beer and comes to stand in line. My first thought is yay, she's paying. But if she did we wouldn't have a story. Instead she waits for me to ring it through. Your total comes to $27. XX. How would you like to pay? C. I don't have that on me right now. Me confused. Okay then. How is she planning on paying for the cab? I take the case and put it behind the till. Your cab should be about 10 minutes. C. Okay, thank you. Pauses at the door for a minute. So, when my cab gets there can I please take that out with me? I know. C left, did not get in the cab and proceeded to walk the opposite direction. Did she really just ask if she could steal? I know it's not a super crazy interaction but I mean, WTF. Thank you. Next. The setting. Major electronics store Black Friday 2017. Me equals Miku equals customer Ma equals manager. I'm working in the phone department at my store. My job is supposedly to just do activations for phone lines. Of course, we run out of phones relatively quickly, so we suddenly become an island of regular registers in the middle of the store. The next woman in line has a shopping cart full of product. Find everything all right? Cool. I begin scanning through her things, until I eventually scan a small karaoke machine. Cool. $79.99. That's not what the tag said. Oh, I'm sorry, what did the tag say? Cool. $15. $15? For a karaoke machine? Are you sure? Cool. Am I sure? Sensing an impending argument that honestly was just not worth my time. Can you show me where you found it? With fire in her eyes and hatred in her heart, she starts stomping away from checkout towards the toys section. I run down after her. After a minute of going up and down aisles, we finally settle next to a very empty shelf with no price tag on it, because it's for overstock. The woman points a very accusing finger towards a little peg that could not and would not support a karaoke machine. See, $15. Me, you mean the tag that says $15 for batteries? Well, why was it there if it wasn't that price? Me, it's Black Friday. I assume a customer just ditched it here while they were wandering around the store. Either way, you have to sell it to me for that price because it was there. Me, laughs. What's so funny? Me, obviously that was never meant to be there, and I can't control customers putting things in the wrong spot. Why didn't it get moved back to where it was supposed to go? Me, so let me get this straight. You want me to follow each individual customer, and when they don't want something immediately run it back to where it goes? Me, also, it's Black Friday and you want me to do that amidst all this chaos? I'd like to speak to a manager. Me, grinning ear to ear. Alright. I grab a manager. I explain the situation. Excuse me, your employee basically called me stupid. Okay, show me where you found it. Begin same song and dance we just went through. I'm sorry mom, I can't adjust the price on that for you. Even though your employee implied I am stupid. Well, it would be pretty stupid to follow every customer around the store just to make sure they don't put anything in the wrong spot. At that point she was fuming, bought her stuff, and left. Thank you. Next. I worked at a gas station, which I assume counts as retail, and this story occurred around 2-3 years ago. Cast, me, myself. CW, co-worker. DL, dumb lady. The law, police officer. CW and I arrived to find out that the medium-sized cups, which were, of course, the most popular choice, had run out region-wide. CW told me that it would be a good idea to simply let people grab the large version of the cup for the same price as the medium, if they were polite. So, obviously some people were not as generous as we were and decided to insult us about being out of cups. This led to people purposefully spilling their drinks in the filling area whenever we weren't paying close attention. CW took care of the cleanup every time, but the area quickly became sticky. CW informs me that the next time someone starts mouthing off, he is going to tell them to leave. Finally, DL arrives. CW and I watch as she toddles over to the drink filling area, her ugly bulk obviously being difficult to carry. She looks to see that our medium cups are empty in size. Rather than ask us about the issue, she takes advantage of the fact that the floors are somewhat sticky to fall over in the fakest possible manner. She then grabs one of our larger cups and approaches me. DL, I just fell over there because of the sticky floor, and so I'm going to take this large drink for the cost of one of your small ones since you can't seem to keep your cups in stock. Me, no, I don't think so. DL, I fell down because of you people, and you didn't even have the cups stocked. I am not paying the full price. Me, yes, you are. DL, no, I am not. Me, okay then. You can leave, but I'll take the cup back. At this point I noticed our friendly lawman had entered the gas station. DL, fine, I'll leave, but I'm throwing this shit on the ground for you to clean up. Me, I don't recommend that. I really don't recommend that. DL, I don't care. DL threw the cup behind her for us to clean up, or so she thought. Instead, most of it ended up on the police officer's shoes. DL proceeded to walk out of the store in a huff, somehow not realizing what she'd done. The law, she just threw her cup at me. I'm going to have a talk with her. CW, she'll probably be gone by that point. The law, I don't think that will be an issue. She left her keys on the counter. CW and I are laughing at that, and the law proceeds to pay for his stuff. Outside, we watch the law and DL interacting, and it isn't pretty. Needless to say, she didn't show up again. Thank you. Next. Edit. So I went back to check if I got the size wrong, and apparently I did. It was 45 gallons, not 14. I'm just an idiot with bad memory. As stated in my last post, I work in an average sized retail store as the children's clothing department head. However, I'm also usually a cashier since we're so short staffed. This happened on one of the cashier days. A group of 3 ladies walked up to my register with a 14-gallon trash can, the kind you roll out to the side of the street when the garbage truck comes by. I do what any cashier is supposed to do, scan it and check inside. They had it across the counter and made no attempt to pick it up, so I reached over to check myself. They said something but I didn't hear. I grabbed the handles and tried to pick it up, but it felt like someone filled it with soil or something. I pulled the cart around and heard one of the ladies say something along the lines of "it was filled when we found it." I didn't say anything and just took the lid off. I took out probably 25 plus items, all cleaning supplies, paper towels, and other random stuff, and filled up the countertop and any space I had beneath. While unloading, the ladies kept saying they just found it like that and sounded like they were getting increasingly frustrated. Clearly they meant to steal all of it and only pay for the trash can, but they were unlucky enough to end up in my line. I didn't care, though, since it was late and I was long since done with the job. I quietly finished putting everything wherever it could fit and looked between the ladies. Me, with a straight face. "Are you getting any of this?" Lady 1. "No, they were in the trash can when we found it." Me. "Okay, then your total is $XX. XX. Lady 2. "Forget it, we don't want it." The 3 of them left, still looking pretty mad. I told the next customer to wait while I moved the trash can and everything in it to where we leave returns and continued about my day. After my line cleared, the manager on duty, as well as anyone who heard/saw what happened, praised me for how I handled those ladies, which I thought to be unnecessary, but I just responded with an awkward thanks, to avoid any further conversation since I wanted to get back to my work. I told my sister once I got home and she said the praise was because other cashiers never check things like trash cans, which I personally find stupid. Thank you. Next. I spent 1.5 years working as a manager in a clothing and accessories store back in 2014 to 2015. While I was there I accumulated a handful of great customer stories, but none top this one. I was the closing manager at this store. I was always the one locking up, closing cashes, helping my co-workers tidy change rooms and refold clothes at the end of the night. As some of you in clothing retail might know, seasons come quickly in fashion. Spring clothes are often released in February-March, at least where I live, which is Canada. My store had put out their bathing suit line for the year in early March, which is still quite cold and snow-covered where I live. One night at work, I gave the girls the green light to start closing duties 45 minutes early. There was a snowstorm going on at the time and the store had been pretty dead all evening. I decided I'd take the change rooms and worked away at cleaning the mirrors, rehanging things, the usual. Time flies back there and now it's 10 minutes to close. Change rooms are spotless. Everything's ready to go. All of a sudden a girl my age, I was 22-23 at the time, rushes in because she needs a bathing suit for her resort vacation in 2 weeks. In the middle of a snowstorm. I didn't mind. Everything was ready to go. How bad a mess could she leave in the dressing room? Shouldn't be a long fix, it's just her. She took her time picking out her armful of easily tangled string bathing suits and then took her dear sweet time trying them on. She finally left about 20 minutes after we closed with none of the bathing suits she took into the change room. Store policy wouldn't allow us to make customers leave if they were in the store before we closed. The girls and I breathe a sigh of relief that she's gone and head to the change room to tackle the tangled pile of bathing suits she surely left on the floor. We find a huge heap of tangled bathing suits on the floor, yes, but we also found something much worse. I guess she thought her used, smelly, bloody pad was cramping her style and wasn't giving her an accurate fitting because she peeled it off and she stuck it to the wall of the dressing room. It stank. It really stank. There were no gloves to be found. I had to wrap my hands in what must have been 6 or 7 shopping bags and had to peel it off the wall. We saw one bright yellow bathing suit and a pile on the floor with a skid mark, so we didn't even touch them. We just wrote off the whole pile and trashed it. I still think about this often. She was the only one in the store. Did she think we wouldn't know it was her? I don't think any of us will ever forget her face. I live in a small community and have actually passed her in public since this incident.